cannot become him in a crowd full of people. Why do I feel more alone now that I'm actually doing better? A disciplined lifestyle isn't attractive to everyone. They're sacrificing their focus and their discipline and their consistency for that girlfriend instead of sacrificing everything to become the man that can get any girl he wants. Fellas, I'll say if you're not where you want to be in life, you'll get there a lot quicker without one. And the crazy thing is, most people don't talk about this part. Everybody tells you go to the gym, stay disciplined, level up, but nobody tells you what comes with it. It get lonely in the trenches. And I'm not talking about a little lonely. I'm talking about that dead, quiet silence, that empty feeling, that damn, it's really just me type of lonely. No texts, no checkups, no calls, no plans, no distractions. Literally just you. Just you, your thoughts, and your discipline. See, fellas, there was a point in my life where I was outside all the time, paying for things, buying this, buying that. Always in the mix, in the middle of the functions. And at that time, I could look to my left, look to my right, and it was always somebody around me. Not necessarily for the most genuine reasons, but I never felt lonely. See, when you're outside and you're drinking and you're partying and you're doing what everybody else is doing, you'll always have people around you. Your phone will be blowing up. The group chats and DMs are going to be active. Everybody laughing, vibing. You feeling included. You feeling involved. But now let's flip that. Now when it's time to wake up at 5 a.m. to go to the gym, to hit that workout, to lock in on your deep work and really study, to actually start building your life. And at that moment, look to your left and look to your right. And you're gonna realize it's the exact opposite. No one's gonna be around. Nobody's gonna be there. Nobody hitting the group chat asking if you up. Nobody texting you like, yo, let's go put this work in, let's go grind. It's just dead quiet. You walk into the gym, half the lights still off. You might got 2 or 3 people in there. And then that's when it hits you. That's when you start to realize like, yeah, this path is different. And this is the part that messes with people mentally. Because you start to think, why do I feel more alone now that I'm actually doing better? Now that I'm improving my life and improving myself, why does it still feel like I lost something? And at that point, that's where most people quit. They go back to the parties. They go back to the distractions. They go back to where they were comfortable. Because at least there, in that space, they didn't feel alone. But fellas, here's the truth nobody wants to accept. You cannot become him in a crowd full of people. You just can't. It doesn't work like that. You can't evolve like that. You can't evolve while staying in the same environment with the same habits around the same energy. Growth requires isolation. Focus requires separation. Elevation requires distance. And most people, they're not willing to really sit down and grind and be alone long enough to become him. And another thing you gotta understand, fellas, a disciplined lifestyle isn't attractive to everyone. People will say they respect it, but deep down inside, it really makes them uncomfortable because your discipline starts to look like a mirror. Your consistency exposes their inconsistency. Your focus exposes their distractions. Your grind exposes their excuses. So then what do? They start to fall back. And it's not because they hate you, fellas. It's more so because they don't want to face themselves. This is the part of the isolation that you can't take personal. One of my boys said something that really stuck with me. He said, what if this loneliness isn't emptiness? What if it's expansion? But you got to think about it. Because you're not necessarily losing people. You're more so making space. Space for new habits, new discipline, a new identity. You're literally shedding your old self. And that's uncomfortable for a lot of people because your old life had noise, but your new life requires silence and focus. Now, fellas, I wasn't going to add this part to the video, but let's talk about something real. Because I know a lot of you guys feel like, you want a girl or you want a relationship, you want that connection, that companionship, and that's normal. That's totally normal. But here's where most men go wrong. They're sacrificing their focus and their discipline and their consistency for that girlfriend instead of sacrificing everything to become the man that can get any girl he wants. Because at the end of the day, fellas, if you don't build yourself first, you're either gonna lose her, you're gonna chase her, or you're gonna lower your standards anyway just to keep her. Fellas, I'll say if you're not where you want to be in life, I'm not necessarily saying don't get a girlfriend, but to be honest with you, you'll get there a lot quicker without one. You don't necessarily need a relationship right now. If you're not where you want to be in life, you need elevation. Because once you become him, You won't have to chase. You won't have to search. You will naturally be chosen. And fellas, this is also another point that you need to understand. Loneliness is when you become him tier. It's not when you're surrounded by a bunch of people. It's not when everything is feeling good for you. It's not when life is all easy and peachy. But it's when it's just you and your discipline. That's where your habits are built. That's where your mindset gets sharp and your identity gets made. Fellas, that's where the real work happens. Most people don't make it past this stage because they mistake silence for failure. They feel as though when things get lonely that something is going wrong. So they end up going back to what's comfortable, back to what's easy, back when things felt good temporarily. And then they end up drifting and getting stuck in that cycle. All in all, fellas, if you feel alone right now, if you feel like nobody genuinely understands your vision, if you feel like you're moving different, if you feel like your mindset and the move that you're making is on a whole totally different level that's going against the crowd, and you're exactly where you need to be. That's a good sign. That means you're growing. That means you're separating. That means you're in that phase. We call it the trenches, where everything is being built in silence. Fellas, don't look at it as you're being left behind. Look at it as you're being set apart. Fellas, I've been there. And if you're in that lonely stage right now, and you're serious about taking advantage of that lonely stage to level up and become him, I can help you build real discipline by installing non-negotiable habits to your daily routine, lock in your routine by building a structured day that forces productivity, and help you become him by upgrading your mindset, your environment, and your standards. Click the link in the description below and book a call, and we'll see if you're a good fit. But understand, fellas, this phase, him tier university, the trenches, is not for everybody. So don't book the call if you're not ready to turn your life around. You've seen the hard work, you've seen the dedication, you've seen the consistency, you've seen the discipline that it takes to become him. So if you're ready, let's get to work. But understand this, brother, when you commit to this journey, it's not just you anymore, it's us. So let's stop wasting time and become the man we're supposed to be. It's time to perform.